1, 2, 3. Good evening. Welcome to Mr. Tipples. My name is Charles. We are the Charles Unger Experience. Just for you tonight, streaming live around the world. Thank you so much for taking time out to hang with us tonight. It's going to be big fun. On the piano, we have the lovely and talented Sue Grossman, ladies and gentlemen. And on the bass, he's a funky man. Give it up for Mr. Ben Luis. Rounding out the quartet on the drums, one of the most dynamic drummers on the scene, ladies and gentlemen, Tony, the Steamroller Coleman. Yes. Yes, I'm your host tonight. We're going to be taking you around the world musically. We're going to drop you off in places and spaces you've never been before. Sit tight, take a ride. Pour yourselves another. You kids can have a Coke. Ah. Thank you. All right, what a crowd, all worldwide. What a great crowd you are. We love you. Thank you so much for stopping by our little corner of the universe we call Mr. Tipples. This next song is entitled Little Sunflower. Little Sunflower. Trade places.
Okay.
Sweetest sunset, just like. Okay. So I can squeeze in an original right quick. Yeah. And I can talk about it. Tell who it is, you know. All right, that was Little Sunflower. This next song we're going to do is an original composition. Written a few years back on a trip to Sweden. I would be there now, but just like a lot of musicians, we're doing our thing wherever we can, trying to keep music happening in our hearts and soul. And wherever we can send it out, we send it. Wherever we can make it happen, we make it happen. This song is dedicated to all the musicians around the world, all the artists, performers, people that are in the industry, like myself. We're with you. And every one of we are with you. We love you. We are the Charles Unger Experience. This is for you tonight. Sweetest Sunset. You can find it on our website and of our social media sites. Check us out. Don't forget about us. We love you. We are the Charles Unger Experience. Tony the Steamroller Coleman on drums. He's a bad man. In a good way. We're going to deviate from our original set list a little bit. We're going to do a song for all the lovers in the house tonight. What the world needs now is more love. Yeah. We're going to send this out to all the lovers. And those of you who wish to become. talented Sue Grossman on piano, ladies and gentlemen. Sue Grossman. Give her some love. How you guys like the music tonight? I told you these wonderful artists were dynamic. Didn't I tell you that? Told you they was bad. Listen, once an evening, maybe twice this evening, we're going to mention that we have a little Venmo, PayPal system here that we run at Mr. Tipples. We want you dial away, send some love and gratuities the way of these wonderful artists you see beside me. Venmo, Charles Unger. Charles Unger. We will see. Don't be shy. Send us a like too. Thumbs up, you know. Yeah. Nelson's Funk? Can we do a Nelson's? All right, all right. It goes out to the late, great Bill Withers and all you wonderful people out there in the universe. We love you madly. We are the Charles Unger Experience. There's only one tonight, live just for you, streaming here at Mr. Tipples, where the where the fun never ends. No, it doesn't. You take the fun home with you. That's guaranteed, baby. I never got to meet Nelson Mandela, but I saw him dance once, and I was inspired. So I wrote a song. It's entitled Nelson's Funk. Goes out. All you funky people of the universe. And Louis. Good job, fellas. Ladies and gentlemen. Tony the Steamroller Coleman on drums. He's a bad man. Wanted in 50 states and Alaska. Just for great drumming, that is. We're happy you stopped by our site here this evening. We are pleased. Don't forget, if you like the music, you like us, send us a little something gratuity-wise by way of Venmo, PayPal, and don't be shy, okay?
It's 8:05. Huh? 8:05. It's 8:05.
We're going to come back in about 5 minutes, and we want to see those phones ringing off the hook, you know? Once again, we are the Charles Unger Experience. We will take a short, un petit intermission. But check this out. We have more originals coming up. Please stick around. See you. Bye.
Hi guys, welcome back to Mr. Tipples. My name is Roger, and I'm going to be doing a quick cocktail demonstration for you while the musicians take a break. So stick around, they're going to be coming back on for their second set very soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make one of our signature cocktails that we offer for delivery. So if you are interested in getting one of these delivered right to your door, you can contact us through Caviar, Grubhub, or DoorDash. You can get us anytime from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m., Tuesday through Sunday, and we will deliver right to you. So check us out there, and let's get into it. So what we're making tonight is something called the Bitter Devil. So this is actually sort of a variant on a Boulevardier, which itself is a variant on a Negroni. So the classic Negroni is just gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. And then the Boulevardier, the variation there is you use whiskey instead of gin. So it really changes the flavor profile, kind of lends a whole new element to the drink. This is going even a step further than that. So often you'll see that a lot of classic cocktails, before they used whiskey, actually used brandy. There's a lot of reasons for this, but not worth really getting into. But we kind of took that idea and we said, well, what if we reverse it? We take something that's traditionally done with whiskey and really isn't done with brandy, and we do it with brandy instead. Then we also had a few other things that we wanted to sort of include that we think really add an extra element to it. So we included this Diplomatico rum. Now this stuff is a spice rum. It's really, really delicious. Really strong, like vanilla flavors, a lot of depth and complexity to it. This is one of the few rums that I actually enjoy drinking just at room temperature. You can just drink this straight, neat. That's it. It's really cool. So we use a smaller proportion of this compared to the brandy. The brandy is definitely the kind of base spirit, and then the rest of these are sort of flavoring elements that add a lot to the drink. But we wanted to make sure that in the tradition of a Negroni or a Boulevardier, this is something that's very much a spirit-forward drink. Moving on, we use Montenegro for this. So instead of using vermouth, which would normally be sort of the traditional sweetening element to it, we're using an Amaro. So a lot of Amaro can be anywhere from very, very bitter to actually quite sweet. This one is definitely a little on the sweet side, has a little bit of bitterness to it, but that's kind of what you're looking for from a drink in the Negroni family anyway. So totally reasonable to include an Amaro in there. And then the last thing that we're using, so again, normally you would use Campari. Sometimes you'll see them with Aperol, particularly for something like a Mezcal Negroni. But for this, we're using Select. So this is actually somewhere sort of in between Aperol and Campari. It's not quite as intense as Campari, but it's definitely got a little bit more flavor. It's a little bit more bitter, a little bit more body than what you're going to find with Aperol. So it's a nice middle ground. It also has just like a slight amount of sort of effervescence to it. It's almost like eucalyptus-y flavor to it. So I think that really kind of elevates the drink, adds a little bit of brightness that might be missing otherwise. So we'll get into the actual build for it. Now, again, in the tradition of Negronis and Boulevardiers, it's a very, very simple drink. Every ingredient is a spirit, which also means that this is a stirred drink. It is not shaken. And the measurements, they're not even measurements like you would see with Negroni, but they are pretty simple. So we're going to do a ½ ounce of our Select. Now, if you don't have Select at home, but you are interested in making a drink like this, you can absolutely use Campari or Aperol. If you had to choose one, I would suggest Aperol, probably a little more than Campari, but either one would work fine. But Select is also a very versatile spirit. You can use it in just about anything that you would use either of those two things in. And if you're looking to just get one bitter, then getting Select would be a good choice there. So we're going to do another ½ ounce, this time of our Montenegro. And then once again, ½ ounce, this time of our Diplomatico rum. Smells great too. And we're going to be doing our Argonaut brandy. Now this is a cool brandy because it's actually made out of California grapes, and these are specifically brandy grapes. It's not just kind of like waste grapes that they had left over from wine production. These are actually purpose grown for brandy. And this is also a somewhat higher proof brandy than probably you might be used to from some other products, which is really, really good for a drink like this that you want to be nice and spirit forward. So this one's actually 90 proof, or just a little over 90 proof. So not quite to the level of something like a bonded bourbon or Navy strength gin, but in that same realm. It's definitely good and hot, as we say. So we're going to add our ice. We're going to stir it for about 30 seconds. And you really want to stir it down so that, first of all, you do want to add kind of a lot of ice. You don't want it to just be some ice. You want to make sure that you're like fully immersing your ice in the liquid and having a little bit of ice kind of sticking out over it, because it is going to melt down. And you really want to feel it get nice and cold on the outside of your glass. This is also why I recommend getting kind of a thicker mixing glass, because it actually gives you kind of a better sense of when your drink is down to temp. If you get too thin of a glass, it will feel really cold, but it actually isn't as cold as you're going to want it once you start drinking. With a thicker glass, it has to be colder for longer in order for it to really kind of move through the glass. It's actually, glass is effectively like a rock. It's made out of sand. It's just basically melted and resolidified sand, which means that it's a terrible conductor of heat. It takes a really long time to heat up. It takes a really long time to cool down. And then once it does, it tends to stay at that temp for a while. All right. We're good. Throw in our julep strainer. And then we're actually using a Glencairn for this. It's actually a whiskey tasting glass, but for a lot of cocktails, it's just the right size, the right dimensions, looks really nice. And it's stemmed glassware that allows you to kind of put in a drink like this. It's a little bit smaller. It still kind of fills it nicely. And then we're going to be garnishing with a nice, thick orange peel. Now, whenever you're peeling for garnish, you do want to be careful not to go dig too far into the fruit, because you don't want to kind of pull up too much of that pith, because that just adds a lot of bitterness that you're not really looking for. All right, and then we're going to take our garnish, take the shiny side down, face it toward the drink. We're going to squeeze it and express all those oils right into the drink. Then you're just going to kind of rub it around the rim of the glass a little bit, so that as you're picking it up and drinking it, getting that oil on your lips, on your hands, really just kind of adding a lot of extra sort of orange aroma to the program here. All right, so there you have it. All right, the Bitter Devil. Cheers. Back to the show.
Hello and good evening. Welcome once again to Mr. Tipples, all you wonderful people out there in radio and television land. My name is Charles Unger. I'm your musical host tonight. We'll be taking you around the world and back. Tonight we've assembled some of the finest talent in the Bay Area. On drums, Tony the Steamroller Coleman. On the bass, Ben Louise. And on the keyboards, the lovely and talented Sue Grossman.
And Charles Unger.
Yes, your fearless leader, Charles Unger on saxophone. Tony the Steamroller Coleman on drums. He's a funky man. He put the P in funk, or one of the P's. Okay, enough of my jokes. End of my jokes. Anyway, I'm having a good time here tonight, and we hope you guys at home or wherever you are enjoying yourselves during the times we're in. But we're happy to be here for you this evening, trying to send out some good vibes, good energy, make sure that you know that you're loved and appreciated. Yeah. You are loved by myself and the band, and Jay and Mr. All right, we have another song for lovers. That was Carlos Santana. Tune entitled Europa. We're going to stick with Carlos and do another song I like doing. It's titled Black Magic Woman. Black Magic. They came out, I think they were on the same album. They came out, I believe. My introduction to Mr. Santana. Black Magic. Got a black magic woman. Got a black magic woman. Got me so my eyes can see. She's trying to make a devil out of me. He started it. Tony the Steamroller Coleman on the drums this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Give him another round of applause. Give that man some love. Welcome once again. We have a Duke Ellington composition we like doing around this time of evening. Song entitled Caravan along the Sahara Desert. Well, definitely not the Mojave because it's 1:30 out there. Ain't nothing but a party, baby. Saturday night. We've had so much fun here. We hope you guys have enjoyed the music. We brought some joy to your homes, wherever you are. Please check us out on social media. We are the Charles Unger Experience. People always ask me, say, Charles, what kind of band is the Experience? So I go, well, we're a jazz band, trying to be a rock band, wants to be a funk band. We're doing our interpretation of a R&B band. So, that's what it is. Before we go, Miss Sue Grossman on piano. Yeah. Thank you and good night. We've had fun, but we got to run. We appreciate your support. Help keep music live wherever you are today. Thank you. Tony the Steamroller on drums. Ben Louise is on the bass. Lovely dynamic Sue Grossman on piano. Your host for the evening, Charles Unger. We'd like to thank the wonderful staff here at Mr. Tipples.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank Roger, our engineer Roger tonight, along with Jay, our engineer and producers behind the scene. You can't see them yet, but they are doing a fantastic job. We love them. We love you too out there in radio and television land. Remember, check us out on social media. We are the Charles Unger Experience. Just for you. And you. And all you. And all of you. Ciao.